Hey there, Joe DiSanto here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of having real estate in your retirement plan. I mean, this is a big topic, so it's not easy to cover everything in a short video. But a couple of thoughts from my experience. For me, real estate was a big part of the portfolio. It was most of it for a long time. And my overall feeling, I guess, is that kind of personal, what I call personally owned real estate, meaning, 1 to 4 unit kind of a stuff, even probably up to, small commercial, 6, 8, 10 units. My experience is that the money I made mostly on them was through the equity appreciation. So the capital I invested, which was leveraged, turned into a lot more capital as the asset grew in value. However, along the way, the cash flow from the real estate was not that amazing and very unpredictable, to be honest. And I was doing real estate as sort of an investor hobbyist. I really wasn't doing it like in a systematic, like really rigid way, which is probably why, my cash flow wasn't as reliable. But I think that's what a lot of people are doing anyway. They're doing it as sort of a hobbyist slash investor. So I like real estate a lot. I think, because of the leverage and the fact that it's relatively stable investment in the from an equity growth point of view, you get a lot of return for less risk than is often the case in the stock market, in my opinion. But I would not rely on personally owned real estate that you have recently bought to provide reliable cash flow in retirement. I think once you get to the retirement age, if you haven't owned that property for a long time and you know that it's cash flowing really well because you bought it 20 years ago, whatever, and your carrying costs are low, I wouldn't go ahead and I wouldn't go ahead and sell your primary house, buy like 6 rentals with all your equity as you're entering retirement, hoping that cash flow is going to really fund things well, because cash flow can be very sporadic because of the different expenses that pop up with real estate. And you can have cash flow for a year, and then all of a sudden you have a big repair and your cash flow is gone. As you get older, I think you got to adjust real estate in your asset allocation overall, but you might switch to REITs in that case if you want to have exposure to real estate but have it be a little bit more stable. Or maybe you go into syndications or something like that. They also can possibly have disruptions in cash flow. I own syndications and they have had disruptions in cash flow, but they probably would be less disrupted than what can be the case with individual properties that you may or may not own. So I don't know. I guess I just wanted to. It makes me most nervous when I see people close to retirement trade in their house where they have a lot of equity and buy a bunch of single family houses, thinking they're going to have incredibly stable cash flow for their retirement. That makes me nervous. I wouldn't do that. But if you're younger and you want to take the time to manage personally owned real estate in your portfolio for equity growth, I think it's well worth the time, and essentially not only gives you growth, gives you tax benefits, gives you a variety of things while you're earning money in your prime income earning years. Those are my thoughts there. See you later.